Hey guys, welcome back to another video by The Comic-ish. Today I just wanted to talk about, again, Scrap Mechanic Survival. And today I just wanted to talk about tips and tricks for Scrap Mechanic Survival because it just launched a few days ago on Thursday, May 7th. And I've been playing it a ton. And I have been looking on the wiki, stuff like that. And I've compiled tips and tricks for beginners and people that are starting out with Scrap Mechanic Survival. Now this is assuming you have some knowledge of creative mode, but this is for tips and tricks for Scrap Mechanic Survival. If you like this video, then make sure to like it. And also, if you're new around here and you feel like subscribing, then it always helps with the channel. You can always unsubscribe at any point. There's no commitment, no price, just subscribing when you want the videos, unsubscribe when you don't. Okay, let's move into the first tips and tricks. So, the first tips and trick is that when you're first spawning into Scrap Mechanic, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be like, oh, what should I do? And slowly your thirst and your hunger are gonna go down. Now, there's two ways to do this. One, you can set up a farm early and farm all of the material, all of the different plants and stuff that you will get inside of different houses. You will find different types of plants and stuff. Or two, and the way I would recommend, is through walk milk. Now, first, what are walks? If you don't know, walks are the cows in this game. It's walk is cow spelled backwards, W-O-C. So it's the cows in Scrap Mechanic, and they're wandering around. And if you've ever wondered, how do I get milk from these cows? Well, it's actually really simple. You see, there's this corn that's scattered around everywhere. And if you hit this corn with your sledgehammer, it will drop, I think, always 4 corn. And so you hit this corn, it'll drop 4 corn. You pick up this corn, and then if you place it, you cannot eat the corn, but if you place it down in front of cows or walks, if you place it down in front of these walks, then they will drop, after they have eaten 3 of these corn, they will drop walk milk. And you can do this indefinitely. If they lose interest in your corn, you can just push them into the corn and then it'll act like they ate it. That might be a glitch and there's a chance it'll be patched later. So if this video is really old when you're watching it, there's always a chance that that is maybe considered a glitch and it's patched by now. But as I'm recording this, all you have to do is just push the walks into the corn and they will always eat it. Now, I once had trouble finding corn, and so I literally died. And one thing to know is that about dying in Scrap Mechanic Survival is that dying in Scrap Mechanic Survival is really not that bad. Because when you die in Scrap Mechanic Survival, all you do is you lose your stuff. But you'll probably be happy to know that your stuff is always visible. There's a marker that shows up on screen at all times. You can see it through no matter how far away it is. There's a marker that shows the location of your stuff, and I have not found that there's a time limit on your stuff. I could always be wrong, but I guarantee you I've spent 20 minutes before going to my stuff because I had barely anything on me, and it never despawned, not any of it. So I don't believe that in Scrap Mechanic Survival, I don't believe your stuff despawns. So one thing to know is the second tip is that you can just die at moments, and as long as you're close to your bed, it'll refill your hunger and your thirst slightly, but not fully. So it's going to be about little less than halfway, maybe 40% of your hunger. Sorry, it'll be 100% of your health, but 40% of your hunger and 40% of your thirst. So you're going to need to find some sort of food source or water source. Now, what's the other sustainable way of getting food and water to fill your hunger and your thirst meters? Well, you can farm. This is a much more sustainable option when it comes to the later game. And by later game, I mean not on maybe your first 3 nights, okay? You want to do this probably on your later nights. That's coming once you have enough materials. I would recommend once you have a shotgun. I would not do this until you have a shotgun, but let's say you have a shotgun, then that's when I would start farming. And what's the reason behind that? Well, you will find that there are hay bots scattered around the world, but you might question, what do these hay bots actually do? Like, they are just attacking me, but if I want to do something, there's not that many of them. And the trailer would let you think that the hay bots would come out at night, but the hay bots do not just come out at night. They come out, the hay bots and the tote bots, which are the small little things, come out when you are farming a lot and when you have unauthorized farming detected. So this is when you have a lot of crops planted in a small area, then it will start triggering the unauthorized farming, which will put more and more tote and tape bots to spawn around yours at 12 o'clock p.m. or like the midnight. At midnight, all of these hay bots will start spawning and they'll attack you. So this can be a good system if you are doing this in the late game, because you'll have this spud gun, you'll have everything to be able to fight off these. The first night is not bad, but it gets bad fast and you will find yourself dying and just giving up on planting crops. So I would recommend not planting crops until comes whenever you have a spud gun. I would recommend then planting crops, because before you have a spud gun, I would not advise planting any crops more than what gives you unauthorized farming. Now, those are the two ways to get food, but what food should I plant? If I'm ready to plant crops, I have a spud gun, I really know the mechanics of the game. Now, what should I use? What should I pick? Well, I would pick tomatoes. As half of your thing, I would recommend to be tomatoes. This is because tomatoes, while giving off a substantial amount of hunger, filling up a substantial amount of your hunger bar, also fill a large majority of your thirst bar. And so when your thirst bar is filled, that's what you need to be worried about. The amount of times I've died of starvation is 0. The amount of times that I have died of dehydration is 6 at this point. Now, I would really recommend looking into your dehydration, because don't think that your dehydration is not going to matter. That is what's going to kill you the most. So that's why tomatoes fill up so much of your hydration meter or your thirst meter. I don't know the official term for it. They fill up so much of your hydration meter or your thirst meter because they contain a ton of water. Now, the other things I would plant would be potatoes. And this is only because of spud guns. Now, if you don't have a spud gun yet, you can get these spud guns. And these spud guns, they don't shoot bullets, they shoot potatoes. And there's different types. There's different types of spud guns, but these spud guns, they shoot potatoes. And so you're gonna need to have a ton of potatoes. They do potatoes in the boxes, which means you're gonna also need to find a packing station with the potatoes. Now you have these potatoes, you can store them in your inventory, and then you're shooting them, and then they'll have all the potatoes inside of them. And then you'd be surprised with how many potatoes you'll run through. Really, they use a ton of ammo, and so you want to have a ton of these potatoes. But you have a substantial amount of these potatoes, and you're ready. Once you have a spud gun, once you have a farm bot, or once you're ready for crops, I would say that is what you really need. So those are my tips and tricks. Thank you all for watching. I'll probably make a part 2 to this, because this is definitely not the only tips and tricks. I didn't have a bunch of time to record this video, so I'm sorry for the Minecraft gameplay in the background. I really didn't have any other time to have other gameplay. This is recycled gameplay from another video, so that's a thing. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sticking to the end. I hope you guys like this. Thank you guys for 100 subscribers. That's insane. If you didn't know I was that small of a YouTuber, yeah, I am. thank you all for 100 subscribers. Literally, I think a month ago I had like 50, so that's crazy. But thank you all. You guys have been loving the scrap mechanic videos, so I'll try to make more of them for you. Sorry that I couldn't upload last week because with all this corona stuff, I had crazy teachers that didn't know how to manage websites through this and had never used websites before, and now we're trying to do all this, and I'm like, what? And then they're like, oh yeah. Like, I had this teacher that said that we had to go on Zoom in literally 5 minutes. And then, yes, it was an optional Zoom, but the optional Zoom was literally, he didn't give us enough information to be able to know what to do. Like, I'm sorry for not uploading last week. But I'll try to upload this week, and I'll try to make a bit more videos so that I can future-proof myself and have videos in the backlog that I can upload on a later basis. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you for 100 subscribers. Bye. Like and subscribe.